On this episode of Sally's Beach Shop, we go back to when I revived the 1967 El Camino and road tripped it 500 miles down the Pacific Coast Highway after it sat for 2 years. You see where this is going. I'm going to have to preface this before we get started because this El Camino means the world to me, and that's because it belonged to a good friend of mine named Sellars, who unfortunately passed away. And that guy was genuinely one of the best people I've ever met. One of the smartest, most talented individuals and fabricators and car builders that I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. And despite how talented he was and how important he was in his job, he would drop anything he was doing to do something for somebody that needed help. And I really admired that about him. And I mean, the guy was just borderline genius. He was one member of a very close-knit group of car people that I am dear friends with. And his loss was one of the first losses in my life that really resonated with me because he was a young guy and it was unexpected and it was tragic. And I just knew that I had to do something to remember him every day. And what better way could you remember someone than by going and getting their car? So that's what I did. And this video kind of follows the journey from leaving, flying up to go get the car, fixing it, and then road tripping it all the way down the beautiful Pacific Coast Highway and doing something that Aaron would have loved to do. He would have loved that trip. So follow along and enjoy. And this one's pretty special. So I often get asked what to bring on a road trip when I'm going to pick up a car that's been sitting. And generally I just bring tools and then I pick up whatever parts I might need along the way. So here's the basic toolkit that I bring on any trip I go on to get a car. Of course, we have electrical. So we have a bunch of connectors, some extra wire, a meter, the tools necessary to make connections. We have 1/2 inch drive, 3/8 inch drive, and 1/4 inch drive ratchet sets as well as their sockets. Got a hammer, never know when you'll need that. Ratchet straps in case I need to strap anything down. Screwdrivers, wrenches, both regular and ratchet wrenches. Have a pry bar, stubby wrenches, zip ties, the basic tools including crescent wrenches and pliers, as well as a couple files, Allen keys, and you never know when you'll need a radiator cap. So it's not all that much. But if you are to break down on the side of the road, this will generally take care of anything that could have gone wrong. And if you need anything more than this, chances are you're not fixing it on the side of the road. Got everything loaded up, packed and ready. Now I'm at the airport, about to get on my flight bound for San Francisco to start another adventure. It's going to be good. We're on the ground in San Francisco. Now to get a ride up to Sonoma Raceway, where the car's at. So here we have it. This is a 1967 El Camino that belonged to my buddy Aaron Sellars, who passed away last year, unfortunately, in an accident. And I just didn't want his car to get sold off to just anybody. Figured if I own it, it will always be Aaron's car. So I'm going to buy this thing and try to road trip it back to LA. Fingers crossed, because it hasn't run in about a year and a half. We'll see what happens. Well, we're gonna get this thing rolled inside one way or another, so I can get it running and driving, and hopefully get it in my hotel tonight. Things are getting interesting already. And we have contact. We're rolling. So this is not how I pictured the first little bit of me driving the car going, but we're gonna get this thing inside. All right, that's good. Thank you, Colin. And thank you, Jacob. All right, let's get to work on this thing. So under the hood, we have what could either be a 283 or a 327. We don't really know because the car should have come originally with a 283, but it's got 327 badges, and Aaron seemed to believe it was a 327. Plus, it did burnouts, which a 283 would be much less likely to do. But either way, we got to do a little bit of wiring. There's apparently some wires fried back here by the starter that run inside the car. But what do you think? Will it run?
I think it'll run. Yeah. I mean, it ran before.
Will it get me home?
Oh yeah. I would jump in this and drive to Atlanta.
All right, to Atlanta. I don't even have to make it that far. So
okay.
I only have to get back to LA.
Okay, gotcha.
And there you go. Pro tip.
Step one: lube the hinges.
That's very important. You don't want to bend your hood, or then you look like a jabroni. Don't use too much. You can get yourself into a lot of trouble. Yeah. So this wire right here sends power to the starter, and as you can see, it's seen better days. So that's really the only thing we found blatantly wrong with the car. We're going to replace it, and we're even going to use a section of purple wire. That's right. We do things right here, even if the whole idea is bad from the start. Just got a little gas here at the racetrack. We're going to see if this car will fire up after about a 1.5 years slumber. Sunoco racing fuel. Yep. Hey, buddy. I don't want to get you dirty. My hands are filthy.
This will be more than enough.
Oh, yeah. So we got ourselves a sure shot to charge the carburetor with some fuel. It's pretty good.
This has a good idea written all over it.
This is probably the most professional way to add fuel I've ever seen. I mean, we might die in a fire explosion, but at least we'll have fuel in the carburetor. So after checking the fluids, fixing some shoddy wiring, we have done nothing else, but we're optimistic that she's going to start. So let's find out. Let's see if she fires. You ready? Oh, well, the key's not doing anything.
He's not doing anything.
Not a thing. It's putting lights on the dash, but
okay.
Not for the starter.
But there's nothing going to trigger the starter wire.
Nope.
Is it in park, by the way? It's not in park because it's rolling. There you go. Now try. Right. Now try. Where? Yeah.
First. Yeah. Let's see if she runs. Well, you got to capture the actual first time on video.
The fire?
Oh, yeah. When it shoots out the carburetor. That was almost too easy.
Yeah, I was going to say. Go ahead.
There you go. She's idling. She's going to empty the bowls. So it appears our fuel pump is not picking up fuel. Luckily, I brought along a little clickety-clack deal. I'm going to just put that in line, wire it to the battery, and this thing should be a runner. So those little clickety-clack pumps don't like to pull fuel all the way from the back. One of the neighbors had another mechanical pump, so we threw that thing on, and in theory, the thing should run. Oh, yeah. Now we got some fuel coming. All right, moment of truth. Did the headlights work? I don't even know how to work them. They're on the top of the dash. Yeah, you're good. She's running. Is she going to make it down the hill and back up is the real question. What do you think?
I think it'll be fine.
I like his optimism.
This is way too good for you.
We got a tack. We got water temp reading.
The tack working?
oil pressure. The tach's not working.
Oh, that was the thing you disconnected on.
But there's just one wire.
No,
so.
the tack wire.
Yeah, there's just one wire missing.
But you got working gauges. Like,
this is fancy. The dash lights work.
I've seen your other car. This is not okay. this is totally a step up. Here we go. Let's see how this works out. Can he figure out the ratchet shifter? Look at that. Armstrong power steering right there, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Yes.
She's a runner though.
Oh yeah. No, you're styling.
And she's a driver.
We're doing this.
Why are my lights not working all of a sudden?
Pull the light. Pull it. Really? Okay, and now back to your regularly scheduled programming. We just went through the entire light wiring harness, and figured out that if you touch the high beam switch, the world ends. So we're just not going to touch that switch, are we?
At least the world you can see.
Right, right.
So yeah, it's got its problem.
Yeah, we might need to adjust the headlights a bit. You can see about 4 feet in front of you.
But look, we're driving it.
Exactly.
And that's what matters.
That's what matters.
And I have to be quiet because we're sleeping.
No running race engines after 8 p.m. at the racetrack.
Is this considered a race engine?
It's loud enough to be. We'll see what happens when you throw it down on the dyno and you make 138 horsepower.
It's got to make at least 200 out.
Yeah, I mean I think it spun one tire, but it spun like a 295 tire, so
yeah.
It should have enough to get you into trouble.
The important part is that it does drive.
It's got a converter in it for sure. Because when you put it in drive, it does not want to go forward. So either it's old and busted, or it's got a converter. I think it's got a Hughes converter in it. I think it's got some sort of a...
Yeah, it's got a giant sticker on the inner fender that says Hughes converter, so there might be a clue.
Maybe that's just to add speed.
And it's got a chrome valve cover, so that adds horsepower. It's got the Chevy bow tie on top of the carburetor stud, so that's got to add at least 7 horsepower.
And of course it says Heartbeat of America on the front. There's a Sunoco station. That's
and
where
that
you're going.
adds about 20 horsepower.
Oh, for sure. There's no question.
So we just put gas in the tank, and
took 7 gallons, and you put 5 in early, and I think these things hold like 16. So
yeah, so add a few gallons left after sitting for a year and a half, which is fairly impressive. But you see this? She runs and drives.
Runs particularly good when you put it in drive rather than first.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. I'm still learning the car, guys.
It's in drive. Okay. Oh yeah, she's got some power.
I don't know about power.
Yeah. Oh no, this has got power to her and drag week written all over it.
She's got nothing on the green one.
I'm curious.
She runs good though,
dude. This thing went to Arizona and back, and then been parked ever since. Probably because he broke the fuel pump, or it died on the fuel pump.
Yeah, she's staying cool. Got good oil pressure, running 40 pounds.
Keep in mind it's 40 degrees outside.
Well, yeah. Let's not talk about the fact that it's gonna start knocking on the way home.
Nah. It's 30 feet or 30 seconds, and that warranty's already expired. So you're dialed at this point.
Well, I didn't expect a warranty on this car. I just wanted this car regardless. But she's a runner.
Oh, for sure.
What?
No question.
And she stops. That's also very.
That's a
important.
big thing. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Now, I'm pretty sure Aaron will make sure you get home.
Well, there you go. Wasn't that hard to revive this thing after it sat for a minute?
No, it's fine. Now, it's the hardest thing to do is to get it into park, obviously.
Yeah.
And
I'm still learning that thing. I'm not good with a ratchet shifter.
I don't think anybody is.
Yeah. And just like that, with a good bit of help from the good people of Sonoma Raceway, including Colin and Trent, I'm on the road heading to my hotel tonight in my new to me El Camino. Hope you're happy I got it, Aaron. Car made its first journey to my hotel. I'm kind of proud of my license plate light situation. That is Gorilla Tape holding on a headlamp so I don't get pulled over. Pretty good. Good morning, everybody. I'm on the road heading south, bound for Los Angeles in Aaron's old El Camino. This is a road trip Aaron would have loved to do, so I'm going to go do it in his car. We're going to drive Highway 1, the Pacific Coast Highway, all the way from San Francisco to Los Angeles, crossing the Golden Gate, Bixby Creek Bridge, and seeing miles and miles of beautiful coastline. So it's going to be a good road trip. I wish Aaron could be here, but driving his car is pretty special to me, and I'm glad I can keep his memory alive in a very, very tangible way. So follow along and enjoy the sights and sounds of the beautiful Pacific Coast Highway. Well, the Elko left me stranded on the side of the highway for the first time. Luckily, it turned out to just be the wire had fallen off the distributor that gives it power, so obviously it's not going to run with no power to the distributor. Hooked it back up. In theory, should fire right back up. There's definitely something special about driving a car that belonged to somebody that was important to you. Like, there's songs about it. There's reasons people keep cars in the family after somebody passed away. It's because it's a tangible connection to that person. This is something they valued. Now you get to continue on with that legacy and keep making new memories with their car, going places, doing things. And every time you get behind the wheel and hold on to it, it's like you're close to that person again. So there's a lot of sentimental value to these things, and that's exactly why I had to have this car, because it's so easy to go about your life and forget, not think about the person that was special to you from day to day after they were gone. But every time you get in their car, you're going to think about that person and you're going to cherish the memories you had together. So this is why I had to have the Elko, and this is why I'm taking this trip. And let's hope the old girl makes it. Fingers crossed. It's gonna be a fun trip, guys. Let's go. Woo! To one of my favorite stops on PCH. This is Bixby Creek Bridge, one of the most beautiful concrete arch bridges in the world. Car's running great. Let's see if it makes it to LA. Doing a little bit of off-roading to get myself a better view. Fred Williams, are you proud of me? I mean, come on, look at that. Who says cars can't go off-road? Oh wait, is that a car or a truck? I don't know. View is worth it.
really glad somebody had the idea to pave the last 50 feet of our continent, because this road is so fantastic. Amazing sweeping curves and just beautiful scenery as the cliffs of California drop off into the Pacific Ocean. One of the best stretches of highway in existence, in my opinion. If you've never driven this road just south of Big Sur, you gotta come do it. Bucket list stuff right here, guys. Well, I'm rolling right along. Just got through Big Sur, which is one of the most beautiful places on the entirety of the Pacific Coast Highway. And car's doing great, man. I'm actually not being real nice to it. I've off-roaded it. I'm accelerating it hard from stops, and it's working. Onward to LA. Here we go.
Even on a road out in the middle of nowhere, I can find traffic. Or maybe that's just California. So we're sitting here on PCH. El Camino's just sitting there off in the middle of the road because up ahead it goes down to one lane, so they're metering traffic back and forth. Guess there's a mudslide up ahead or something that has one lane closed. Hopefully it's not too big and we're not here too long. So when you're sitting on the side of the road, or in the middle of the road rather, because you're waiting on a traffic light that's metering traffic, get yourself some Doritos, some Girl Scout cookies. Just have yourself a quick snack on the tailgate. Yeah.
And there we go. Lights green, we're rolling on. Back on the road, southbound to down. LA, here we come. Oh, there's the problem right there. You see that big mudslide coming into the other lane? That's what kept us waiting. Happens out here on PCH with these unstable cliffs.
Setting in the distance. Man, this has been a good drive. I'm not going to be able to see all of it today because it's going to get dark, but we might make it to Hearst Castle before the sun officially sets. We'll see. Hey, puppy! What's up, buddy? You a good boy? Oh, you're a great boy. Such a good boy. Puppies and El Caminos and the ocean. I stopped and saw so much stuff. I'm driving on into the night. I still got a few hours left to go, but I should make that time up pretty quick, considering I won't be stopping to take pictures and stuff because it's dark and there's nothing to take pictures of. Anyway, we're getting there. No problems out of the car so far. Well, first real problem of the trip. That's not great. Let's see what I can do to fix it. Alright guys, so here's my plan. I have Gorilla Tape
and zip ties, and that's pretty much it. No big hose clamps or anything. So I'm gonna wrap the hose in Gorilla Tape and then tighten it down using zip ties and see if that stops it from leaking. It's definitely a fingers crossed moment because that's not how you should fix this. Oh well, let's get to it.
There we go. I got a decent amount of tape wrapped around it. Now I'm gonna try to cinch that down with some zip ties. Makes sense, right? Well, there we have it. Some Gorilla Tape and some zip ties. Let's see if this works.
I'm mildly optimistic that this might just fix the problem because those zip ties are going to keep pressure on it as the cooling system expands and puts pressure on the hose. We'll see.
No leaks yet. Might be good to go.
I'm going to hit the road. Got a little less than 100 miles to my house. So we're almost there. On the road again. We have an hour and 21 minutes left. Let's see if we make it. Come on, radiator hose, stay together. Car did it. Well, I have like 2 blocks left to go, but it did it. All the way from San Francisco to LA. Not too shabby for a car that hasn't been on the road in a couple years. Gotta love catching lights green.
Amazingly enough, my roadside hack repair seems to be holding water. After driving about 100 miles, I don't see any drips. That's pretty good. Learned a new trick.
And just like that, the El Camino's in its new home here in LA. All in all, the car made a journey of about 500 miles all the way from Sonoma, California, down PCH here to Los Angeles after sitting for somewhere around a year and a half. So you can get out and drive this stuff. And to be the caretaker of Aaron's old El Camino is so special to me. This car means so much to me, and I'm going to cherish it and think about him every time I get behind the wheel of this thing. And because I own it, this car will never just become another car. It is always going to be Aaron's car. And I think that's pretty cool. Thanks for following along, guys.